Hi, it's Levon. You know, we always start our projects with a cleanup. So this time we vacuumed out the drawers of this dresser, which I don't have a before pic for you, but you'll get the gist of what it looks like during the painting. And of course, we're using white lightning, and I keep it in a sprayer bottle, and we spray the piece and wipe it down completely. This one was really dusty, so that's why we used a vacuum first. And then we use water in a mister bottle to clean it off. Now the top of this had some really, I don't know what was on there, but it was a little bit gunky. So I'm really saturating it with the white lightning, let it sit a little bit, and now putting it on a second time. And I'm actually getting a metal paint scraper. Now I'm doing this ever so gently, but I just knew that that blade would get underneath and get rid of what we needed it to get rid of. See it coming up? I can barely see it from there, obviously. I should probably have my step stool, but we're getting it taken care of. And once that is painted, you're never going to see anything there. So the remaining, yuck, whatever's remaining will get painted over. So we'll remove it as best we can, and then rinse it, sand a little, and off we go. This is a beautiful, you can see it's pretty tall, mid-century modern dresser. Now I do have it on wheels, so we are using silk in Baja Gray, and I think it's a gorgeous gray. It kind of reminds me of the Mason-Dixon in the regular chalk mineral paint. It sort of has a purplish, bluish hue to it, and I just think it's beautiful. In my eye, I see a little purplish hue, and we're going to be using the Cacti and Succulents transfer with this piece, and that will definitely bring out that little bit of purple. Now, of course, I am using Dixie Belle products. And if you are interested in purchasing any Dixie Belle products, there is a link in my description box. That's my affiliate link. That means that you order from Dixie Belle, and using my link, I get a little kickback. It doesn't cost you anymore, and it helps my small business grow a little bit. So I thank you for that. This paint's amazing. So you see how beautifully, quickly it goes on. And I continue to paint the entire piece. So see the way this is very simple. It's just got a simple, like, beveled kind of frame around it. And then the drawers don't even have drawer pulls. They're just like frames. So it's a really simple, like I said, a mid-century modern, well-made piece of furniture. And we're not taking away its character. We're adding a little to it, but we're definitely keeping the mid-century vibe going. Sort of satisfying to watch paint being put on and something transformed, isn't it? So here are those beautiful drawers. There's two of them that are kind of separated and have two sides, and then the rest are completely flat. I am using a Dixie Belle mini brush, which is really great for the insides, but then I switched to a French tip brush to get in those grooves because I see I missed some places. So there's the French tip, and it really gets down in those areas that I'm having trouble reaching. So those are the long drawers there, and you can see the double drawers then too. believe it's a Thomasville piece of furniture. And I like to put tape on the sides too so I don't get any paint on the drawer sides, which I'm planning some decor on the drawer sides as well. Right now I am using a piece of paper and making a template because I'm going to be adding transfers in these insets. And I kind of have to design them a little bit, so this will help me in my placement. It's going to be a lot easier than me trying to hold them up, and this way I can just kind of map out my design. I did another video recently, the sunflower vanity, and that one also I used templates in too. So that would be, I'm going to be adding the step-by-step playlist, so if you ever feel like binge watching my channel, then you can do that. So I use the template to put over the row there. So there's 2 rows that would be suitable to put in those top areas. One is a little more floral with the succulents, and the other one's mainly cacti. So, but the designs are all separate. So what I'm going to do is incorporate a little bit of both into each. So before I get to that, I finished sanding a scuff sand in between coats, and then I'm adding a second coat. You see Dixie up there looking over everything. She's always checking us out here. And now I'm putting some wax. I'm using some, not wax, but the gemstone mousse in golden gem. And I'm using the silk screen stencil to add a little interest to the side of the drawer. So I'm using amber as the color. And you always want to stir this stuff up. It's wonderful stuff. Now I did a couple of these, and this one I guess I'll call it the distressed look. This one didn't come out as clearly as I wanted it to, but you know what? It's okay. I always say there's no accidents, so we're going with it. Just if you want something a little more solid, then I guess just work it in a little bit more to the stencil. See, it is kind of inconsistent, but that's okay. That one is more consistent. So we're going to go with it. Here we're working with the 2 sides of the transfer. So we're using that template and just kind of tracing where we want to cut. We want to cut from the top down so that we have the whole design. And as you see, we're working that design where some of them have more flowers and some of them have more cacti. So we're just going to build them each up. Getting rid of excess here because that'll give me a little something to grab onto. So again, using that template. This is much easier than trying to place it on the piece and put it, trim it on the piece. Much easier. So I keep those little scraps because I do all sorts of decor with earrings. We do our vintage forged earrings, and I often decorate some of the wood pieces with tiny transfer scraps. So I am kind of simulating the cacti and succulent designs on each one. So it ends up there being varied, very similar to each other, yet different. And it's a really cool design. So I decide that some of them are going to go first, so they appear in the background. So I cut some of the succulent elements out that are going to go in it that match up with the other piece. And you want to be careful you get the right scale. Those ones are really the same ones that are in that little piece, so it's really interesting. So I'm gathering everything up and heading over to the piece to start applying those transfers. My husband was filming me. I actually did this on a live on the Dixie Belle paint page. So I'm just kind of putting that up there just to give me an idea. And I take that one out because I'm going to work on putting some of the cacti in first, behind the big transfer. So I trimmed that little guy down. And just applying that. We have it sped up a little bit so that you don't have to sit through all of me struggling to get the end of the transfer sheet. There's corners and little recesses make it a little difficult or challenging to do that. That looks like a big pickle, doesn't it? Of course, it's a cacti. So you see, the last time we put smaller elements under the big transfer, and this time we put the transfer on and added smaller elements on top. And now I'm working on one of the larger elements for the bigger drawers. These bigger images of the succulents. They're so pretty. These are the ones that really have the colors. They're all vibrant. I just love them. So I learned a trick from one of our brand ambassadors, Brushed by Brandy. You should check her videos out on YouTube for sure and subscribe to her channel. But I am using our silkscreen stencils, that's the botanical one, and cutting out some of those ferns, and that helps you extend the look of your transfer. I used chameleon waxes in apricot, cactus, and lilac to use on these silkscreen stencils to complete this look. I pulled up a tiny bit of paint when I did that, but no big deal because the paint was super duper fresh. I will touch that up. And now I am using a small brush and just using some gemstone mousse in golden gem. And this is kind of mimicking those little obelisk shapes that are on the one transfer in the smaller panel drawers. And I thought that looked kind of cool in there. So are you ready for the finished piece? There it is sitting in our showroom. I think it turned out really cool. It's really a big piece. And I'm going to be working on a couple end tables that will complement it. But here's some of the close-up details, and I just think it's so pretty. It's just charming. You cannot go wrong with bells and whistles transfers from Dixie Belle. They apply really nicely and they're just beautiful. Thank you so much for watching today. If you like this video, how about giving it a thumbs up and also share it with your friends? If you haven't subscribed, you'll want to do that so you don't miss anything. Visit us at LaVintageDecor.company, and on Instagram we're LaVintageDecor, and on Facebook we're LaVintageDecor Altoona. Stay well.